Coming up next on Access Framingham TV, Budapest with my guest, Nicole Connolly. Stay tuned. Hello, I'm Jack Barron, host of Travels with Jack, here on Access Framingham TV, where guests share with our audience a recent trip, a vacation, a cruise, or maybe a day trip right here in New England. You'll see their photos and hear about the exciting places they have visited. On this month's show, I'm very pleased to welcome back Nicole Connolly once again. Nicole travels quite often, and she has visited Travels with Jack several times, we love having her, to share some of her trips with you. Nicole has visited Budapest, the capital of Hungary, many times, and today she shares with us photos from her visits to that beautiful city in 2008 and 2017. What parts of the world have you visited? Please be my guest on Travels with Jack and share your travel experience with our viewing audience. Just contact us here at Access Framingham Television and let us know you'd like to be a guest. You can phone AFTV at 508-875-5434, or you can send an email message to info@accessfram.tv. Our associate producer will contact you to make arrangements for you to be on our show here on Access Framingham TV. If you don't live in Massachusetts, we would be more than happy to assist you with your travel to the Access Framingham studios. And now, let me welcome Nicole back to Travels with Jack, and we will talk about your wonderful trip this year to Budapest. But first, let me give the audience who haven't met you before a little bit of a history. Nicole Connolly lives in Westboro, Mass. with her husband, Carl, who is from Ireland. Nicole grew up in Stuttgart, Germany, and has been in the U.S. since 1996. She is a commercial photographer under the name Photo Fabulous You.
That's it.
And she also does German cooking classes as part of her sharing her culture. As part of her addition to her Hungarian trip, she's adding Hungarian cooking to her classes, and she's specializing in strudel and goulash and chicken paprikash. Well, we won't get into all the food. She is a very busy woman who also runs a German language meetup group that has more than 250 members, and they get together once a month and specken the Deutsch. I probably said that improperly.
Nope.
Some of you may remember Nicole sharing with us her trip to the German auto museums, the German Christmas market trip, which I loved, Switzerland with her folks, and Iceland, I believe, with Carl.
Yes.
And today, Nicole will share with us Budapest, Hungary, and she spoiled me already. She's showing me pictures of cakes and food, and she brought a little schnapps. Is it qualified as schnapps?
Yeah, like a liqueur.
An apple liqueur.
Yes.
I know with that Christmas trip there, we were talking schnapps and beer and more schnapps.
That's right.
All right, talk to me, Nicole. You got off and you left Boston and went straight to Hungary. How'd you get there?
So yes, I went to visit my grandmother who lives right at the Hungarian border, actually in Slovenia. So, but
is that where Melania Trump is from?
Yes.
Slovenia?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So
do all the girls look like Melania in Slovenia?
Some, yeah.
Okay.
Some for sure, the Slavic girls, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, she lives right at the Hungarian border, and in that village in particular, they speak Hungarian. So I visited my grandmother many times as a child, since I was a baby, and of course speak the Hungarian language as well. So we went to see my grandmother, and with that, my mother felt like she wanted to go to Budapest, so which is just the 3 hours drive from my grandmother's, and that's what we did. We stayed at an Airbnb. This is like, I've did Airbnb in Paris, in California, Vienna,
Yeah, you
Berlin.
like those.
Yes. So, and we normally, when we went to Budapest, we always stayed with family because my mother's uncle lived in Budapest. He's actually very active, and my aunt, who's a pretty famous singer, she sang here in New York for years. But we normally stayed with family. But this time I had the pick of the place where we stayed, and I picked a beautiful Airbnb right next to the Parliament, overlooking the Danube. So it was the most spectacular kind of place.
Did they make you pay also, or Dad was nice enough to pick up the Airbnb?
No, I treated them for
You
that.
treated them?
Yes.
Oh boy, and you went for the expensive location.
Well, that's the thing. It's not that expensive in Budapest, yeah. Hungary
really?
altogether, but yeah, it wasn't really...
You found it a good value?
Yes,
Okay.
very good value, yeah. And it was meticulously kept, and it was actually owned by the restaurant owner. A very high-end restaurant was underneath
really?
it, yes. And it
Oh.
was a young gentleman that ran that Airbnb, apartment, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But it overlooking the Danube is just gorgeous, yeah.
That area is beautiful. That
Yeah.
Parliament building. Bill, I don't know when you're going to give us a picture of the Parliament, but when it comes up, a beautiful building, and inside,
Yeah.
just as beautiful.
Yeah, so I mean, the Hungarians, I don't know how much people know about Hungary or Budapest in particular, but Hungary borders Austria.
Oh, here we got a map.
Yeah, so it borders Austria to one side, then Slovakia, also Romania, the Ukraine actually, which I think a lot of people don't know.
I did not know that.
Slovakia, Croatia, and I think, what am I missing? Yeah, so it's,
Very central location.
Yes.
And
So-
historically was part
That's
of
right.
the Austrian-Hungarian
Yeah,
Empire,
Habsburg, yeah.
the Habsburgs.
Habsburgs went through the Romans. It was the Roman Empire there for a while.
And this is what, a picture?
This is actually a picture of a manhole, and it's a piece of art in itself. So I had to kind of like show you guys a manhole because they're just so beautiful in the city. They're all different, and it actually says Budapest on them. So
I see.
yeah. But yeah, they had quite a history in particular Budapest. And here's a nice little view, and it actually shows you Pest and Buda. So Pest is on the right side of the picture, so, and then Buda is on the...
Now, historically, were they managed by two different entities? Was Pest one city and Buda another, or were they always...
I think, yeah, they were kept kind of separate
They were
for
kept
a long
separate,
time.
yes.
And the only way you could cross, there were no bridges like back in the days, so the only way to cross was just by ferry and...
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but yeah, the Turks, of course, went through there as well. Lots of battles going in there. And then, you know, the last kind of big history they had there was after World War II, the Soviets were in there too. So it had a communist...
So they were under the
Yes.
Soviets after World War II?
Yeah. It was also it was owned by the French for a while. So you do
Really?
actually see parts of it look very similar to Paris.
I didn't know the French. When
yeah.
was that? After, during Napoleon?
You know, that's a good question.
That's all right. I won't hold you
Yeah.
to it. We'll figure it out later.
I know, I'm like... I'm
But
gonna
it might
be
have been under Napoleon. The French were very aggressive with him
Yeah.
initially.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what time it was, but so you will see that
Oh,
history
there's that statue.
through, and you feel the history through Budapest for sure, because there's you know, one of the statues. There's actually a statue park all together in Budapest. This is on Mount Gelje, which is right next to Buda Castle, so it's on another hill itself. And I should say that the pictures that you're actually seeing, they've been taken in 2 different times. So I was most recently there in May of 2017, but I was also there in 2008, so almost 10 years ago. And this particular picture was taken during that time. So yeah, you see the history that they had in the food, in the cakes. I mean, the Habsburg, there's a lot of...
Austrian.
The empress, the Austrian empress who was there as well, and they didn't like her in the beginning, so...
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they're very proud people, and the Hungarians are actually come originally, it's an Asian influence actually, so...
When you say you mean coming...
The Magyar, yeah, the Magyar themselves came from Hungary, so from Asia.
When you say Asia, do you mean the Middle East, like Syria through Turkey, or do you mean...
I think even further, yeah, because we're also known, like, and you can kind of hear it in the music as well, where it's coming from, and I think the Turkish influenced the music too a little bit, so it's a lot of influence. Good coffee there, so that came probably as well from the Turks.
So you'd say a lot of influence from
Yes.
Asia.
Yeah, and then
but not as far as China, not that. Well,
not
you
sure.
think really?
Yes, it could be. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because big horsemanship. Attila the Hun was very well known for horseback riding. So, yeah. So it's
oh, I didn't realize
quite
that.
interesting.
Oh, here's a picture of.
So here's another view of the.
And that's the capital, that dome.
Yeah. That's again the parliament. Yes.
Yes.
Which is. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it went through a lot of, like, in the periods now, the almost 10 years that I've been there, I think it changed a lot. It really, gets the influence from the European Union. And I mean, there's a lot of places open for rent, and I mean, it's just gorgeous to stay there. I mean, it's high ceilings, it's historical buildings, but it went through quite a lot of revamping and modernizing, and there's festivals going on all the time. So some people might go there because they had just a Red Bull sponsored event there just 2
You know,
weeks
Nicole,
ago.
all the trips you take always happen to have some festival going on or some party atmosphere.
Yeah. So there's
I wonder if you select the country by what party they're...
yeah. Maybe that's it. That's right.
You're going to be you're probably in Rio de Janeiro in February. Oh, I just happened to be there, Jack, and they had carnival. And
exactly. It just happened. Yeah.
Just happened. I was going for a quiet, restful week, and
no, not me. So
and there's the Parliament again.
Yeah. So, and what I wanted to do as well is give a little sample of some music, actually, since we're talking about the influence from different cultures. So I would love to give a little sample, and the sample is actually from it's my mother's aunt. So I called her aunt as well, of course, as a little girl. But she was quite a famous singer, and she actually lived for years, I think for 3 or 4 years in New York.
And her name was?
Jacovera.
Okay, yes. Jacovera.
Yeah, so
play that.
I figured I give a little sample of the music, and you hear a little bit of Hungarian as well, because it is its own language. It's not related to anything else. It's on its own tree. So it's doesn't sound like English or Slavic or anything like that. So here it goes. I'm gonna hold this up to.
Keep going, I like that.
You like that. So it's just giving a little sample of what the language actually sounds like as well. So I play this kind of music in my, it's influenced by, it's so gypsy music.
Sounded a little gypsy.
Yeah. I actually listened to this music while I was still in my mother's belly, and she got married, and they played this music. So that's, I was actually, since I was 2 years old, I always wanted to play the violin, and I think I blame it on that particular night that they got married and they played this music. Never got to play the violin, actually.
Now
so.
this is...
So this is actually my parents, since we're talking about them. So I'm on the left there, but my dad is in the middle with the red black shirt. I think
that's
you can't
all right.
miss him.
He looks fine.
Yeah, and then the lady next to him, that's Csilla. That's actually the daughter of this Hungarian singer.
Oh, that is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So she came and showed us around this time in May, and my mother is on the left hand side.
So you had a tour guide. Is she your cousin?
So that would be my cousin, yeah.
Yes.
My mom's cousin.
So she took you around.
Yeah, she's very, very lovely. So.
Oh, you were lucky. I never get.
Yeah.
And this is, oh.
And there you see, like, so this is actually taken on the balcony of our Airbnb apartment, and you see the Parliament right in the back. But more importantly, I took Ike with me on the trip as
now
well.
that I see Ike, I remember Ike.
Yes. So he came with me to Iceland, so that's where you might have seen him before.
Oh, yes, I remember Ike.
Oh.
There you go, with the gypsy
so there's a
violinist.
Little bit of gypsy, so you do see them on the streets. So there is a big, Roma history in there as well, of course.
Did you see, were there a lot of migrants or...
refugees, you
refugees.
mean? No,
you did not see that.
Paid particular attention to that, but no, I didn't really see like any, even driving from the countryside, from Slovenia into Budapest, and then through Budapest into Vienna. By Vienna, we didn't really see anything. I mean, they do at the border now have like these little hoods where they do stop occasionally.
Let me interrupt you.
Yeah.
This is what?
So this is actually chili peppers.
Oh.
So again, the spices. So I don't know if that's again another influence why we're actually known for hot peppers. So
you
spicy
do
goulash soup.
Beautiful paprika.
Yeah,
they do a
chicken,
smoky paprika also.
Yeah.
Oh, you think the spices were influenced from the East? I'm sure you're right.
Yeah, could be. I mean, the spices. And there you actually see me having a goulash soup. And you see that was taken in 2008. So I had long hair back then.
I was going to say, you look different.
Yes, a little bit different. A young chicken there. But this picture actually in particular was taken at one of the restaurants I can highly recommend. It's called the New Yorker.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. And it's not anything modern like you would expect when you go to New York. It's actually, it's just, even if you don't eat there, go in there and just check out the architecture. It's just phenomenal.
I remember, I haven't been in Budapest in many years, but I remember the food was wonderful.
Yes.
And there was a restaurateur in New York, I think his name was George Lang, who owned a restaurant. It was on the west side, and they had a lot of artistic murals on the walls and everything. I can't remember the name of the restaurant.
Okay.
And he had a restaurant in Budapest as well.
Ah.
I should have done some research before the show tonight.
Yeah.
And we ate there. It was marvelous. I think Estee Lauder's son was a partner with him in it. I think they were Hungarian. I think Estee Lauder, the cosmetics billionaire, who's deceased, but I think she was Hungarian, and her son was involved with this George Lang out of New York, and they opened this very nice restaurant.
Yeah. So talking about a couple Hungarian famous people, there is a lot of Hungarians living in actually in the U.S. So
I'm sure.
Yeah, so they kind of you see them spread out in different parts of Europe, but in particular the U.S. has the most Hungarians.
Really?
And,
okay.
I mean, you see them in Tony Curtis had Hungarian roots. The Fox Studios, the original ones that got founded in the 20s.
Were Hungarian.
Yeah, it was. He was Hungarian as well. Houdini.
Oh, really?
I think everybody knows Houdini. He was Hungarian. He got really famous just over here. So he had nothing to do with magic or anything like that in Hungary, but he made it famous over here. And I mean, Houdini, it's like an Italian name, so.
Well, he had to add for show business.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, are these traditional Hungarian?
So, exactly, traditional Hungarian gowns, and I actually wore them as a little girl. So I tried to like dress a little bit alike.
I'm trying to think. What do they look a little bit like Dutch?
Yeah.
No.
A little bit. Well, they have again like more the red and green colors in them. So it's like again the Hungarian colors, red, white, green. Yeah.
Now this is what, where you
So
stayed?
this is actually no. It almost reminds you a little bit of like you still find old cars in there because of the communist era as well. So this was again an old car. And
Oh,
it
okay.
reminded me a little bit of like
The Russian cars.
in Cuba. So you can
Oh,
still,
Cuba.
yeah, where you can still see
We
some
had
of the
a
old
show
cars.
from Cuba, and
did.
go ahead. I'll tell you after the drink there.
Oh yeah, so this is it's probably there's some sort of liqueur in there if you know me.
Yes.
So, but this is at one of the traditional cafes, and yeah, I think it might be. It was probably Empress Elizabeth drink. So there is probably some. It's almost like an eggnog, but we in Hungary as well as in Germany we put it's a liquor in it. So.
Oh yeah, they
yeah.
have a zagut or something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
is
So-
an eggnog liquor.
Yeah, and I believe this one is the Esterhazy. Yeah, so it's walnuts. It's a walnut base.
Oh, it looks delicious.
And then
Lots
in
of
between cream.
lots of
yeah.
layers of buttercream in between.
Yes, so it's I think it's a vanilla cream, and I believe this one might be the Dobosh torta. Dobosh, yeah. So it's a chocolate layered in between. So, but just look at how these are pieces of art. I mean, who bakes like this anymore? You know, these days, like where you put all these layers in between. So, yeah, it's just beautiful. So yeah, in the apple strudel class that I'm teaching, so if the show gets aired before October, so October 18th is the day that I'm teaching the apple strudel class, and the recipe is actually from my grandmother.
And this is going to be at Assabet?
At Azabet after dark. It's normally
Okay.
6:30 till it's just one night. 6:30 it starts. Azabet after dark. And the nice thing about it is October 18th is actually my grandmother's birthday, so which is nice. But I taught this class many times there before. It's very popular, and I actually taught it at Tower Hill Gardens once before as well. So yeah. It's a nice thing in October to teach an apple strudel class.
Now this looks like
So
a train.
transportation, yes, transportation. It's very easy to get around the city. I mean, I would recommend doing boat tours for sure. Go on the Danube. That's the nice thing about Budapest. You're right on the Danube. Even though Vienna is right on the Danube, it's not like in the center of it, like where all the things are happening. You know, where you can promenade along the Danube and it's beautiful. It's almost like Budapest feels really a lot like Paris because you can promenade along the river. So yeah, Lánchíd and you know Váci Street. That's kind of like the major
Main
places you can
thoroughfare.
go to. Yeah, but Lánchíd, this is actually Lánchíd. So it's a chain bridge, and it's.
I remember that.
Yes. So what is famous about that is it's guarded by lions on each side. It was built. The architect of that bridge is he's actually a Scotsman.
Really? It
Yes.
looks French.
Yeah. So again, like you know, all the influence from different cultures. But the legend has it that the Scotsman was so proud of his bridge and his accomplishment with this bridge that he asked, like, okay, if anybody sees any imperfections, let me know about it. And then somebody said, like, well, the lion doesn't have a tongue. And apparently they said, when he said that, he got so upset about it that he committed suicide.
Oh my God.
It's not true.
Not true. Okay.
It's not true. And by the way, the lion does have a tongue. You just cannot see it from pedestrians.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so it does have a tongue. So this is where, once you go across the Lánchíd, so I kind of like arranged a picture so it's a little bit of a journey. So we went across from Pest now, from where the parliament was, across the Lánchíd, and we come to this place here where you can, it's again something very historical, something you see also, like you might find it in Salzburg, but it's a little train or like
And where does it take you to?
it just takes you up to some Mount Buda Castle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that which is like just astronomical, like how big that whole area is. And again, I think that was built either during the French time or the German time. So this is on there now on Castle Hill.
At Buda Castle.
Yeah, Buda Castle, and this is actually the Fisher's Bastillion. So it's so there's just a couple pictures of that, which is just I mean, and the views you get from there, I mean, that's the beautiful thing of Budapest. So if you go on the side, you get beautiful views.
This church, I remember.
Yeah, that's Matyás Templum, yeah.
Was that near the Parliament?
No, that's on, we are still on Buda Castle. Yeah, so that's up there.
I remember
But
a
that
very
gets renovated.
spectacular church, maybe only 5 or 6 blocks from the...
Yes, that's probably the cathedral, yeah.
Yes, the cathedral.
Yeah.
Was beautiful.
Yeah. So this is inside, actually, in Matyás Templum, and it's, again, like you just need to go into this. And there's statues of the Empress Elizabeth.
My son and his wife were at
That's
a
the views you get
wedding
from there.
this weekend in Barcelona, Spain.
Okay.
And it was he sent me a picture of the church, and it was, this magnificent cathedral and
Yeah.
everything. And he writes underneath, he goes, Michael Ricci, do you now denounce Satan, which is from The Godfather.
Okay. Nice.
But they have beautiful, beautiful churches that made him think of The Godfather movie. But what a place to do a wedding, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my
I
goodness.
can just imagine.
Yes,
doing
if nothing
a
else,
wedding
these
up
churches for
Yeah.
a wedding, a beautiful, a christening, a baptism.
That's right.
Beautiful.
And I think, Jack, you mentioned earlier to me in private that the little village, the artist village. So,
Yes.
Yeah. The name just escaped me, but it's actually when you're going further down the river. So if you're looking along the river there and you go further down, it's not that far. It's like you drive literally like 25 minutes and
Yes,
you're there.
I remember we took a boat
Yeah.
from
You took the
right
boat.
near the chain bridge.
Ah, and you took it down there,
And we
yeah.
took a boat down the Danube and went to this artist village.
Yeah.
And it was delightful.
Yes.
It was
yeah.
very, very nice.
Yeah.
Here's the chain
Yeah.
bridge at night.
The chain bridge as well. Yeah.
Tell me that doesn't
so
look like
that's
Paris or something. It
yeah,
really does.
and I think that's the dome that you mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah. So beautiful. Like we actually got a private concert from some Norwegians. Like, they were singing there when we were there. That's again the view from our apartment, and it's the
you were in a great
parliament
area.
there. Oh yeah. And food. I mean, you could just go. Like, I mean, again, the restaurant downstairs was like, it was beautiful. The food they offered there. It was kind of high end because it's a lot of the politicians
Yes.
probably taking people close by.
Now
the
this looks like the boat I see on television. They
Yes, the
advertise
Viking
it.
River Cruise.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
a Viking River Cruise.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
that's what it looks
So
like.
they go by there, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have so many different ones now. And this is the Little Princess. So this artist who apparently, and I see her kneecaps are all shiny. I'm wondering if that's for good luck. And their kneecaps are rubbed like to
by everybody.
Shiny, yes, but it's the Little Princess, and it's the artist. He actually sculpted it after his daughter, who was playing outside at one point, and she put on this bathrobe. And her crown, she made it out of newspapers, out of his Sunday newspaper. She made a little crown, and she was playing outside at the playground, and that's where that was based out of. Yeah, there's another Viking River Cruise. So yeah, that's looking up on again on Buda Castle. So. So I believe
now this is a church,
This
the
is
cathedral?
the dome. Yeah, this is the cathedral.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm saying dome, but it's the
Yeah.
cathedral.
Oh, I
yes.
remember. It was very impressive.
Yeah. So just beautiful again, just inside.
God,
You
they
just
all knew
go
how to build
around.
great churches, huh?
Yeah, and the nice thing is about going into churches, Hungary is actually quite hot. So it's very, very warm. And the nice thing is when there's plenty of churches around, it's a place to go to kind of cool off.
To cool off.
It's like rest
Find
your
a seat
feet
and
for a
cool
little
off,
bit.
yep.
Yes, yeah. So that's still in the cathedral.
Now, you were there, what month did you say?
In May.
Oh, so now
Yeah.
how was the weather in May?
You could eat outside every night.
It was
Yeah.
delightful.
It's very
So
nice.
that's a good month to go.
Beautiful, yeah. I mean, it's just nice to go anytime.
Now, this looks like an open market.
Yes, so this is the market hall. It's massive. It's just I just captured one of the images there. I think I was starting to get hungry, Jack. So I literally just captured one image in there because we were just I needed food at that point then. But they have langosh is like one of the which is like fried dough.
Oh.
But we put like garlic on it, lots of
Oh,
garlic
really?
and melted cheese and sour cream.
Hungarian pizza.
That's right, Hungarian pizza. Yeah, so transportation, very easy to get around. There's the metro is in there. Yeah, so I would definitely don't feel intimidated to take, even
You
you're going
felt
to a
it was
country.
safe? Did you feel pretty
Oh,
safe?
yes.
You did.
Oh, yes. There was
Well,
no,
you say
yes.
that. I got to tell you
No,
the truth.
it's
There's
true.
so many areas today,
You're right.
like Paris in particular.
Yeah.
I'm a little hesitant.
Yeah. I mean, where we stayed, it was guarded by, obviously because of the parliament.
So that was an extra with them.
Yeah, that was an extra thing. But I definitely never felt uncomfortable walking around at nighttime to go to any places by myself. So it's very, very safe. So, the currency there is still, they have their own currency. I think they might change in the next few years.
When I
to
was
euro.
there, I remember there was conversation that they couldn't get their money accepted by the EU.
Okay.
So
yeah.
maybe it's still the same issue.
Yeah, so they have the foreign. So if you go there, you need to exchange money.
But
It's
I
good to have
remember it was
pocket
not,
money.
it was reasonably priced as far as European cities go.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, even though
Well,
it
you
states,
saw Switzerland was very expensive.
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
But and again, like not even like being in a major city, and it's expensive in Switzerland. But Budapest is very affordable, I should say. And this is actually, it says the oldest restaurant in Pest. So you always like to take pictures of menus as well.
I do. I love food pictures.
So and this is the menu actually there. So it has a big history there. You actually go in there, you think you're in Germany. Because there's like all these German beer mugs and everything, and it's like in an old wine cellar. You can sit outside again, but the food was just good.
Well, Austria is,
Goulash soup again.
it's different than Germany, but Austria must have influenced Hungary tremendously.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know?
again, they're very. You definitely, they have their pride, the Hungarians, but they did take. I mean, it's like any culture that kind of like gets influenced by, China. There's different
Yes.
from Mongolia, where they.
Now, did your cousin grow up in
She grew
Hungary?
up there.
She did.
Yes, she went
And
to
did she
private
go to
school
university there too?
Yes, she went to private schools there and everything.
And what does she do now?
She's retired, so.
Really? She didn't look that old.
Yeah, she's
All
retired,
right.
yeah. But she's an excellent translator. She's an excellent tour guide.
Oh, okay.
So I think, she should still be in business taking people around because she's just good. She's just excellent. So she's just the nicest person as well. So it was very
Well,
nice
that
she
always
came around.
adds to the trip when you have somebody who shows
Oh
you
yeah, and
everything.
she's very she's not your normal kind of guy. Like she's very entertaining. So she'd be, pushing your buttons and joking and everything. So, I've never heard her sing. So maybe I don't know if she sings as good as her mother.
Now this is
That's
back
a
to
good
the
question.
Parliament. No,
Maybe
it
the
doesn't
Opera
look like the. Oh, the Opera House could be.
Maybe
okay.
it's close to the Opera House at this point. I don't know where we went from there, but it must be close by.
Beautiful.
Okay, so that was the baths. Széchenyi?
Oh, the baths
Yes.
were that.
So tons of thermal baths in Budapest. So if you do get tired of walking around and exploring this beautiful city, we were there for 3 days. You could, if you're a particular art lover or music lover, you need more days than that. We didn't even go into any art museums. They have the biggest agriculture museum there. Actually, the parliament we were talking about, the parliament is one of the biggest ones in all of Europe. So,
Yes. Oh, it's a magnificent.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, one thing I remember them telling us in our tour
Yeah.
was that the Parliament, at the time they built it, was the most expensive Parliament they ever built in Europe, and they went way over budget.
Did
and,
they? Yeah.
And threw the country into a semi-bankruptcy or something.
Yeah. It is just massive. I mean, I've not seen anything like it. Yeah, it's definitely one of the bigger
So
ones.
I said, well, you haven't seen construction out of Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I mean, they know how to do it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, the Széchenyi baths. There's also right next to Mount Buda. There is the Gelye baths. That's the kind of really famous one. It's been in a lot of movies as well. But this one is a little bit further out, not too far. I mean, you go if you go in an Ubers they have them there, or in a taxi, you're there in 10 minutes.
You know, I remember we went to one of the buildings. We didn't actually go in the water, but I
Okay.
remember seeing
Yeah.
one of the baths, and it was huge, a big
Yeah.
brick building, and
Yeah.
kind of like this. Maybe that was the one we went to.
Maybe that's the one, yeah.
But there was inside as well, where they had the water.
Then it was the other one, yeah.
Oh, the
it's
other one.
gas,
They had
yeah.
water inside.
Look at
And
that.
these
I
are
love
really
this.
very big social
Yes.
places,
Yeah,
aren't they?
and there you see, like, I mean, people just go there, and I mean, they look very tan, so they must be
Yes.
going there quite a. I think it might have been on a Sunday, maybe a Monday.
And these are mineral waters or something.
That's right, yeah.
And a little
Thermal
bit
spas.
warm.
Yeah, they're warm. Yes. Oh, yeah. Some of them are quite warm to the point where I was like, okay,
And
on a hot day, it's almost too
think,
hot.
don't get me wrong, but I think my wife's grandmother
Yeah.
used to go to Hungary and to Budapest for the waters.
thermal- yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
health waters.
Yeah, there's like, I mean, I don't know how many baths they have, but it's very famous for their.
Yeah.
So it's the same like where in Germany, where I'm from, from Swabian Alps, it's like all thermal baths there as
Oh,
well.
they have it there too?
Yes, yeah. So we're really big into that.
Again,
but
a
look at the
good-looking
architecture.
building.
We don't have that in the
No.
Swabian Alps, where in our baths that I normally
Beautiful.
go to in the Alps. So. Yeah, just love the architecture. There was one picture earlier that had like, they do all sorts of parties there too. So they
Really?
bring a DJ in there. So it's not just like for relaxing and just that they really party it up. And there was even like a beer party there. So that was the poster there. That was there earlier. It had like a big a wine barrel, you know. But yeah, they have beer parties there.
No,
too.
these buildings are like what you see in Hollywood movies, you know, when they
Yes.
show you some fancy
Yeah.
European
Yeah,
capital.
It's actually, I don't know how. I know we see Prague a lot in a lot of the, especially like action movies, like in probably you know, with Tom Cruise, some of the movies. with
Mission
him,
Impossible
or
or whatever.
the 007 movies. We see a lot of Prague. I don't know how much they film in
Budapest.
in Budapest themselves. Yeah, if it's a good location to film. Yeah, that's actually, it would be interesting to kind of see. So we're still, it's, again, if you are tired of like walking the city and you just want to take a little bit of a break, go to the baths, and then right next to the baths, just down the road from there is this castle. So yeah, it's beautiful to go there. There's a cafe that just opened up recently, and it's right on the water there. So that's close by there. And then there's the Heroes.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, the Heroes place.
That is the statue. Is that up on top of a mountain?
No,
It isn't.
it's flat, totally flat on the
I'm
ground.
trying
yeah.
to see if that's not the statue I'm thinking of, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think. Above the Danube, across from the chain bridge.
Yes.
I
That's on again the
Pest
Galliard.
side?
Yeah, the Galliard Hill. Yeah.
Oh, I remember a fabulous statue that the
The Liberty.
Yes, that's
Yes,
it.
Yeah.
that
With
the
big
Russians
leaf.
gave them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know who gave it. Was
No,
it the
I think
Russians?
Russia.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was beautiful.
Yeah. So the
Oh, there's the
my
folks.
parents. So right next by there is a really famous cafe,
It looks lovely.
and we stopped by there, and it's called the Gundel. So
I think that's I think that's where we ate.
yeah, the Gundel. Yes. So that's what it looks like inside.
Was it owned by an American? Do you know the history of the restaurant at
I do
all?
not.
That's the one I think I told you that was owned
Yeah.
by the
Yeah,
New York
Estelaus.
restaurateur. It was something Des Artistes was
Okay.
his restaurant in New York.
Okay.
I think that was it, the Gundel.
The Gundel. Okay. Yeah.
Was it in a circle? Do you remember where it was?
It's again not that far from the Heroes place. You can literally like yes.
Were the waiters in like tuxedos too? Were they dressy?
So kind of dressy. Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I think that was the restaurant.
So I have the menu there again, photographed. So for those that want to get a little taste
I'm
of
going
it.
to have to look it up and
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
But we are big into like pancakes. So one of the palacintat. So it's a dessert. So palacintat is so again like some of the words nothing is like, I mean, it's pancakes.
No, tell me about the pancakes, though. They sound good.
So the gundel, the gundel palacinta, is famous because they, and there will be actually a picture shown. It probably is going to water your mouth. But it's famous. It's if they really do it right, they actually put walnut liquor in the chocolate. They kind of stir it up and then light it on fire. So it's like flambé, their own version of flambé, and then they just pour the chocolate over the pancakes. It's just a delight. So again, coffees, they're very artsy.
Oh, you're making me want to go back there.
Yeah, I mean, it's, Jack, yeah, I think you will really enjoy it. This is also one of their specialties. It has like, I love
nice
everything with
chocolate
marzipan. So this has marzipan in it. Fresh strawberries. The strawberries were actually even like, oh, that's a cheesecake. My dad wanted to have a cheesecake. So
It looks
there was
like it
actually
has
a New York cheesecake there.
It looks like a walnut crust,
so maybe
though.
you're right. It must be owned by American because
I'm
there were
telling
a few
you, I think that was the
American-
restaurant.
Yeah, so it has a beautiful outdoor area, absolutely.
That I don't remember, but I think that
Yeah.
was it, the Gundel. And I remember we drove quite a way. My hotel, we had stayed right at the Chain Bridge.
Yes.
It was a hotel that had been an insurance company building, and they took over and built a hotel. It was beautiful.
Yes.
And it was a little bit of a distance from the hotel to that restaurant.
Okay.
And I think that was it.
That's right. It was.
And it was in a dip. They kept saying to me, the cab driver, this is, because I always ask questions. He says, this is a diplomatic area. A lot of the embassies are in this area.
Okay.
And I think that might have been the restaurant. You know, we'll look it up when we're through.
Yes.
But, it was wonderful. It was
Yes.
a lovely
So
restaurant.
highly recommend that one, the Gundel. Yeah.
The Gundel, I think that was
Gundel,
it.
yeah. So Gundel. I think there's actually one of the pictures that has a sign.
We'll see when the show's over. We'll Google.
Yeah, would be interesting.
Now
so this is the
more
famous,
food. Boy, you're really doing it to me tonight.
Yeah, so walnuts and so that's
And the
famous
doctor, I was at the doctor
Gundel
last week. He
Palacinta.
told me I had to lose weight, so this isn't going to help me.
So yeah, it's just beautiful how they presented it and everything. But yeah, the building itself is just gorgeous. Like, yeah, it's definitely worth a trip and definitely worth to try. Yeah, I mean.
Now, you
so the
flew
foreign-
from Boston direct to Budapest? or-
No, we drove actually with my parents from.
So you flew
yeah.
to where?
I flew into Frankfurt.
Okay.
Took the train to my parents to Stuttgart, so this
Okay.
is where I'm based. And then we drove from Stuttgart to
Because
my
I think when we
grandmother's.
went, we flew from Frankfurt to Budapest.
Yes.
Does
you
that
did.
sound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
I remember we went through Frankfurt and came back.
Yeah.
I don't even remember if we came
Yeah.
back
Frankfurt
through
connects
Frankfurt.
the world, so of
Yeah,
course. Yeah.
Frankfurt can get you anywhere.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, very easy to get to. I don't know if there's direct flights from Boston going to Budapest. I would be surprised if there is. So I think you
But
might.
definitely
Be
Frankfurt, I think, a couple of times a day.
yes.
I think you can
Absolutely.
get to Frankfurt. Yeah.
Yes. Frankfurt would fly into Budapest a couple times a day.
Yeah, no, but I mean, even Boston to Frankfurt, I
Yes.
think, is more than once a day.
Yes, at least twice.
At least twice.
With Lufthansa, at least twice. I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
Oh, no, very easy to get
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yes, another specialty. So this is Kürtisch Kolács. You will maybe find that you definitely find this kind of specialty in Prague as well. I don't know how they call it there, but yeah, Kürtisch Kolács it's dough, and they put it like on a stick, and then they just roast it on a stick.
Really?
And it just turns and turns and turns. You will see a picture, and again, you will probably
This
wanna
is
see
what?
it.
Just the dough they roast?
Yeah, and they roll it in sugar.
Yeah.
So it's like in a sugar, and it could be the coconut. They have vanilla flavors. They have walnut. Walnut is my favorite.
That
this
is
is
it.
walnut. Yeah. So this is Molna.
Oh, and that's how you
Kürtisch
spell it.
Kolács. Yeah.
Kurtost.
So yeah, Hungarian is nothing. Again,
It's Hungarian?
Yes.
Oh, it is a
It's a
Hungarian
Hungarian,
thing.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's
Kurtost. I don't remember that.
just to give you a couple of words, like they don't sound like anything. Like hand means kazad. So it's, it doesn't sound like hand, like, or, le main, like yeah, nothing like it. Or foot, in German it's Fuß,
Yeah.
or, le pied. Fuß is, in Hungarian would be lábod.
So nothing like German.
Nothing. So it's on its own branch. Has nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah, nothing.
So that's what makes you think they had a lot of Eastern influences, that their language is not too much like...
yeah, I mean, the closest one, they're on a branch with Finnish, so...
Oh, well,
yeah.
Finland would
so
be
Finland,
closer to
Estland
Russian.
might be a little bit more, yeah. I don't know if they can understand each other necessarily.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't tested that theory yet. I haven't met a Finn.
Well, it's interesting that the language is so different.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like Portuguese and Spanish are close.
yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
English, nobody speaks English, but you know.
So this is another great, famous coffee house to go to. So a lot
So
of these
big,
coffee
so
houses.
big.
Yeah, so this is again on the main road there.
Yep.
So the Molnar Kurdish College place, it's on the same street. So you would basically just walk down the street. You will come by this one as well. And this is another baker house, a coffee house, and you can sit outside. We're actually going to see some inside pictures too, and some of the specialties. And I actually did bring you some from that coffee house.
Oh,
yeah, from the
thank you. These
So. I don't know if you want to have a taste now or you want to have one later.
I don't know if our. Oh, don't these look wonderful?
Yes.
I will take one. But
There we go,
no
yeah.
complaints from our audience. They're going to
Little
say
view here, if you...
Jack ate and didn't share with the audience at all.
So that's from that coffee house. They have excellent cakes and everything in
Oh,
that.
so good.
And of course we have to have a little futur. So it's an apple liqueur, like you said.
This is excellent.
Maybe we have a little bit with that.
Not too much, Nicole. I got to drive home.
Okay. I'm going to be... Oh, look at me. Is that
Bill
gonna
will
be-
call the Framingham police on me.
Yeah. We just do a little bit.
Okay, we'll
Here's
have
that.
a little toast
I do a little bit with you too. There we
to
go.
more travels and good health.
Yes, more travels, good health. That's a good one. Egészségedre.
Oh,
That's
these
health.
two are perfect together.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
See, I haven't tried this, so. Oh, that's quite nice.
Yeah, that's good when you do your photo shoots. You should give the
Yes.
customers a little bit to
They will loosen up for the
loosen
headshots.
up for the photos.
Sure, yeah. That would be nice. I like
Now
that.
this
That's
is
very
what?
nice.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so that's inside there. So this is a little more of a taste what's in the shelves there. But again, look at the architecture in there. It's
I see. This is a coffee shop with pastry.
yeah, and a lot of these coffee houses, they were actually they supplied the coffees and cakes for the empresses. So yeah.
Oh, really?
So it's the same. Like I mean, Vienna has a big history of the coffee houses that delivered the palaces, and it's the same in Budapest as well. So they just outdo themselves with the cakes they invented, and some of the recipes, they're just like secrets, big secrets, and never get past. You know, some of them even died. The recipes, the real.
Very elegant. Look
goods
with the
ones.
flowers
Yeah.
and everything there.
Yeah, they had.
Wow.
Of course, they had macaroons there too. But yeah, just I highly recommend it to go there. So that coffee in the first coffee shot, it was taken in that. In Gerbeau, yeah. So this is a little history again about near the Parliament, right on the Danube, banks of the Danube, and this is what I mean. You know how nice it is to promenade along the Danube there.
Along the river.
Yeah, and lots of party boats actually going around.
Isn't
there
that
too.
funny though? I didn't realize they were so close to the Ukraine.
Yes, I didn't know that they actually boarded.
Now, does
with
the Danube go up near the Ukraine or no?
No. I
No,
don't think so.
okay.
No. So, yeah, I don't know the exact path, but it definitely goes through Vienna, Bratislava, yeah, Slovakia then. But a little bit of the history on the shoes on the Danube. So it's a famous statue, and it's what it is about is that monument was set up. I think it was 1944. There were a lot of Jews in Budapest altogether.
Oh, this is a monument. I
a
thought
monument.
these were your shoes and you went walking barefoot.
They look so real,
Yes.
those shoes. It's
Oh,
so
this
true.
is a monument.
So,
I did
yeah,
not know.
It's
Okay.
a monument. It's the shoes on the Danube. Again, very close to the Parliament if anybody wants to go and see them. But it's
And this is in honor to Hungarian Jews who were taken
That's right.
by the Germans.
Yeah, so it wasn't just Jews, because Budapest was kind of like a sanctuary almost, like during the war.
Oh, really? Okay.
For a lot of the Jews came from Germany even, like, and settled in Budapest. They were kind of felt like they were safe there. Wasn't the case. Of course, there was a party actually. It was called the Arrowheads. The Arrow Cross. Sorry, Arrow Cross. It was called, and that was kind of like their Hungarian Nazi party. And
really?
So
Yeah.
they would. I think they had them in ghettos as well, and at nighttime they would just bring them out to the Danube. They make them take their shoes off, and they executed them by shooting them, and
Oh
they
my
fell
God.
into the Danube and floated away. So that's
So
the
that's the
monument
tribute.
for them. Yes. So I think it was mostly for the Jews, but they also, like, what they did with that as well. They also used that as a way to get rid of a lot of the Romas and the Serbs actually as well.
Oh, they didn't like the Serbs?
I guess
really?
not,
And I would
no.
think the Serbs would be a
Yeah. So that's,
kinship
yeah.
to them, because the Serbs were, Yugoslavians,
Mm-hmm.
but the Serbs were tended to be a more fascist group
Yeah.
than.
Yeah.
Really
So,
interesting.
yeah, so that's anyway. It's a beautiful monument to it, and it's very nice to see that.
Today, Hungary, I think he's considered very right-wing, the president or prime minister of Hungary, because I know there's been a lot of issues with a lot of the people feel they're blocking out
Yeah.
people, and I think I know there's a lot of political
Yeah,
unrest there.
there's always there always used to be a lot of political unrest. Actually, my uncle, he was quite active as well.
Oh,
so
really?
He was, yeah, to the point where he actually left.
He left Hungary.
He had to leave.
Well,
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there an uprising against the
Yes.
communists in
That's right. There was a big
57 or
uprising,
56?
and he had to
Yes.
leave because of that. And I think he ended up in Switzerland. He got very, very sick.
But he was
almost
able to
died,
get
yeah.
out
He got out, yes. He got
because
out.
of Iran, because of her singing, or
No, I'm not sure if that was before her time. It might have
really,
been before her
because
time.
I don't think it was so easy to leave those countries.
Yeah, he did leave. The thing was, he went to school with like the famous soccer player in. I
Okay.
don't know if you know there was a famous.
I know
he's-
Pele. That's
right. So Pelé, famous in Brazil. So the Hungarian Pelé is Puskás.
Okay,
Puskás.
I don't know him.
Yeah,
but-
so he went to school actually with my uncle.
Oh.
So he was the one who was able to get him safe back into Hungary, and he had to go to prison actually. So
Really?
yeah, so my uncle had.
Oh, so there's a whole story.
Yes,
We're going to get
talking
your
about-
cousin as a guest.
Oh, she should come. Oh my God, she would love
You
that.
if you bring her to the U.S., you'll call up Bill
Yeah.
and say, "I want to get her on
Yeah.
with Travels with Jack," and
Yeah, now if I
we'll
share
get a
that
whole
with her.
history. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be terrific.
So, and here's another shot. So this was taken this time around, and I just loved the way the flowers were there.
Yes.
And it was just a beautiful day. It's literally like the 3 days we were there. It was sunshine, sunshine, and sunshine.
You always have good weather.
Yeah, I try to have some good weather. But yeah, it's that's how close it was. I would walk by there every morning, catching the tram, or just walking to our destination. So just a beautiful trip. Highly recommended. So the forint is the currency. I think it equals like $1 is 170 forints. So
Approximately, do you remember what the Airbnb cost you a night for where you were in U.S.
yes.
In U.S. What did that run you?
it ran like $400.
Really?
Yes,
And you loved it,
I loved it.
and you were in a great location.
That's right.
So the rates were pretty good.
Yes, exactly. I mean, find that kind of a location like in New York for that price. So
No, I remember, I don't remember paying a particularly great, well, I think I had a pretty good rate. It was expensive anyway, but for a big European city, I remember commenting to Mrs. Barron
yes,
that I said, wow, this room is a terrific value compared to what we would have to pay in Paris or Rome or London. So it really was a much better value for your money.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that now that you bring it up. So
Yeah.
all in all, this is a terrific trip,
Yes.
Budapest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you get a good value for your money, and it's beautiful, and the
Yeah.
food is terrific.
Yeah, and if you
And
don't
you bring
like
a bathing suit and go to the baths.
that's right.
What
And-
more could you want?
Yeah, and if you don't like the food there and you want to just go traditional, you definitely find Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks.
Oh, really? You saw all that?
It's all there as well. McDonald's, of course.
Well,
it
you know, McDonald's, I always find sometimes I'm ready to just go in and say, you know, I need a cold Coca-Cola and a.
Yeah.
But they change. Different countries, they do local stuff.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do change it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the cheese royale.
Yeah,
they
and the
probably
name-
in France they would call it a cheese royale.
Yeah, the
in
names
McDonald's.
are terrific. And in
Yeah.
Asia,
Yeah.
they do different things.
And they go with the prices, of course, as well with the
Yeah.
country. I remember, like, once being in Basel in Switzerland, and it was like, I think I paid $8 for a burger. So
Switzerland's expensive.
yes, Just for
So,
a regular burger. Yeah, so it's
Oh, yeah, great. Before we finish up, show your books.
yeah. So some of the books that I find really good. I mean, this is all a little bit older, but I do love the eyewitness travels because they have tons of pictures. I'm very a visual person, of course, as a photographer, but they just have maps in there as well. They have sections where you can. There's a lot of the
And show them
liqueurs
your
as well.
cookbook that you're going to start
that.
doing Hungarian cooking.
Yes,
on
so
your,
if I
at
find
your
one
cooking
of the
class.
strudels, oh, look at the big Coke bottle in there.
Yep.
So this is actually a language book I have, a Hungarian language book. But yeah, some of the specialties they have here. So I think that one cake, I totally lied. It wasn't like the, although it did have a caramel on it, but it looks more that it's the Stefania torta because it has the S4 dobosh cake. Oh, okay, so they did say it without the caramel layer. Okay, I was correct, the dobosh, because it had a caramel layer on there, but there's a Stefania tort that's exactly the same as a dobosh. And here's actually a dobosh.
On that note, show everyone the beautiful cake.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to say au revoir. How do I
Yes.
say goodbye in Hungarian?
Vislat.
Vislat.
Yes, Vislat.
Nicole, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And we're going to talk a little bit. You're going to share with me a little more of the books, and we're going to
Yeah.
Google Gundel and see if that's,
right.
the restaurant
if that
I
was
ate
the
in.
one, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
But thank you again. The show,
Yeah,
as always, a great guest, and I love the
Yeah.
photos.
Love being here. It's
Thank
love
you.
sharing my
Thank
travels.
you.
Thank you.